Hello everyone to the bi-monthly platform SIG meeting, end of January this year, 2019. So we are going to discuss the usual agenda and new things in the platform special interest group area. So let's dive into it right away. So we wanted to get a look at the last meeting action items, but I think Mark is not going to attend, so we'll probably put that for next time. But as Alex is attending, I guess we can move to that action item. Alex, can you tell us where we are in terms of ownership for the chocolatey package for Jenkins?
Yeah, so I contacted the original owner of the package and once Mark,
Alex, you seem to have an issue with your mic. You seem very remote, like you're 10 meters from your mic.
just one minute.
Maybe Oleg, you can cover that part when we get back to Alex afterwards.
Can you hear
Okay.
me now?
Yeah, we
Oh,
can.
yeah. Let's
Okay.
let's let's dive to for yeah.
Okay. So the update there is that I contacted the original package owner on Chocolatey, and once Mark kind of vouched for me, quote unquote, he added me as a maintainer on the package, so I have access to release new versions. Currently, we're just keeping up with what they currently have. They have some automated process that goes and I don't know if it's like daily they check for a new release of Jenkins or what. I don't know how they do that, but they automatically create an updated package. We're just still using that for now until we have something in our pipeline um, to um, to do that process when a new release is made on Trusted or whatever.
Oh, oops, doesn't work. Yeah, better. So, um, thank you. So we can say basically that now we can deliver things there, and we need to now let's write something. I should have written while you were speaking. I was just copying things instead of writing actively. So Alex now owns the is co-owner, I would say.
Yeah, and I can add any. I believe I can. I should be able to add anybody else. So anybody else who we need to have access right now, I can add them. I mean, uh, it's always good to have more than one person from the project have access to something.
Yeah, so technically it would be nice to have the entire, maybe not the entire platform SIG, but yeah, maybe me, Baptiste, because we also maintain the core, so we can somehow coordinate the releases if needed. And
Yeah.
maybe also Mark, because Mark did some testing and he knows this packaging already.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you might need to sign up for an account on Chocolatey, but I'll double check that.
I should
Uh,
already have an account there.
okay, if you can send me your username on Chocolatey, if
Okay.
you have one, I can add you, and then um, if you don't have an account, you can sign up for one and then just send that to me and I can add you.
Yeah.
So you were saying something about that. I'm not sure what you summarize here, Alex. So basically, you now need to contact Olivier, maybe, or something to discuss how to indeed push from trusted.ci.jenkins.io.
Yeah, so that'll be part. When the Chocolatey package and the MSI changes are incorporated, and that's part of whatever build flow and stuff like that. That will need to be. We'll need to figure out how to push that, on the infrastructure.
Yeah, right.
So just as a point of clarification, the Chocolatey package actually uses the MSI. Chocolatey has that capability of using an MSI installer. So the changes that are going into the MSI will also impact how Chocolatey is done. so that the two are kind of tied together a little bit, because you have to have like a SHA hash for the MSI file that you're going to download during the installation. So that's why I'm kind of tying them together.
Okay.
So that's just a verification they do on Chocolatey is anything that's downloaded has to have a SHA inside the Chocolatey package. So
Okay. Thank you. So I guess we are gonna just cross that. I thought there was something. Can't find it anymore. Where is that crap? To cross something? Can't find it anymore. That thing keeps surprising me. Oleg, maybe you want to. Thanks, Alex. You want to put an update about that, Oleg?
Yeah, it's a work in progress. Technically, I have a draft for this job, but I need to make some confirmations before I proceed. So yeah, my hope that I will be able to do it next week. No strong commitment though.
Okay, thank you. So, oh, right. So that was the one. Where are we with that? It's still open. Whoops. Is this the date? Right. So, Alex, about that, what is the kind of, is there an expectation like something like, okay, we should be blocking that until we have something, or is this something that can already be published? Sorry, I didn't review it. I wasn't aware of that one. Didn't check actually.
It hasn't been merged yet, so it's not published. I just put that date as kind of a. I didn't know if the blog, if there was like a restriction or not a restriction, but like a schedule for when posts were published or anything like that. So I just put that date as kind of out there a little bit just in case, but it can be published whenever. And yeah, so it should be.
I think if the date is future, then yeah, it's going to be published at that date. So I think we need probably to change it, but I'm not sure that the naming here does get used. I thought there was something here, but probably it is the case actually.
Yeah, so I can fix the naming, etc. before publishing. Generally, we try to not publish more than one blog post per day.
Yeah.
And we try to publish in the time zone of the author, unless there is a strong preference. So that's it. So there is no blockers from publishing, and yeah, if you want, we can try to get it published today.
Sure. Do you want me to update the dates then?
Well, I can do that.
Okay, cool.
I just realized I have permissions to do that, but I think I'm now wondering why. Yeah, I think probably it was because of the platform sig meeting. I think it was a request from Oleg to Liam, maybe. Yeah, I'm mixing things, but yeah, I'm just discovering that or remembering more. Okay, right. So by the way, if I have permission, I should be able to then request myself. It'll be easier for if I want to have a look, but don't wait for me. Just a note about that, I was saying that for next one, I think slide you, I'm going to use slide, Alex or slide, whatever you prefer. But I think basically you can define variables so that you can, for instance, do those things only once instead of depleting these.
Yeah, you can do it in a skidoc, but in such case, it doesn't render properly in GitHub. Though,
right, that's an issue as well.
Yeah, even now it won't be displayed properly in this case. But macro expressions generally don't work in GitHub.
Mm-mm. I was thinking about that because as we are discussing the fact that we would change the date, you are going to have that to do that many times anyway. Like,
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, so great. Thanks a lot, Alex. So and also Java 11 support status report. I guess I can probably go. Oleg, you can summarize also. I think the status.
Yeah, I think you are more involved with the project now, so the floor
So
is yours.
overall, yeah, I can do it. No problem. So overall, the situation is looking pretty good. The last uh, things. So we are really now looking at GA soonish, like maybe in the next month or something. Um, I mean, meaning probably the beginning of next month or something.
I mean,
But
beginning of February.
yeah, right, something like this or mid anyway. So. Um, because so the last outstanding thing that's still in progress even in the core is probably Jaxb put as a detached plugin specifically for Java 11. I fixed an issue this morning that surfaced that actually showed something about an issue on Jaxb. Actually, older version of Jaxb use the evil system path dependencies, which actually was failing on older JDKs. So, it wasn't really failing during build, and it was quite working well for runtime, but it was indeed failing the build because then Maven would try to resolve things during the build by using system path to resolve the toolstores jar. And toolstores jar doesn't exist anymore on the same path at least, but I guess doesn't exist anymore at all, starting from at least in Java 11. So that's why it was failing for a few PRs like that one on that plugin, Dynatrace. That was where the issue got revealed. So I ended up patching the plugin, the Jaxb API plugin that got introduced to actually use a version of Jaxb that doesn't have this issue anymore and doesn't rely on system path and locally installed dependencies anymore. And the good thing about that is that anyway, if you look at the changelog, like was rightly pointed out by Ramon, the this is a good thing to bump to 3.2230 because it's the one that's deemed to support supporting Java 9. So that's exactly what we should have done, that I should have done from the ground.
Yeah, there is still one potential issue with it because there are already version 3.x for Jaxb, but these versions are available only for Java 9 and above. They do not work with Java 8.
Yeah, because you mean the bytecode is Java 9 plus?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, I didn't
So,
intend to bump that. By the way, I documented, I explained here.
mhm.
Yeah, that I chose actually the closest one, the lowest one, close to that didn't have that issue. That would be the lowest one at the same time. So that's
Yeah.
why I ended up choosing even not even the 231, I think, and the 2301 also, if I remember correctly. And there are many others, 234, I think, in the meantime, in the middle. But yeah, that's the reason why I chose the lowest one. That yeah,
Yeah.
wasn't using system path basically.
Yeah, so the risk for us is that currently in our Docker packages, we use a newer version, and effectively we will be downgrading before the GE release, which is probably okay. I also tested the new Jaxb API plugin, and everything looks perfect. So
You mean you tested that thing, or the one that's already released?
already released one, so I
Okay, right.
didn't hit this issue.
No, that's what I said because actually that's
Mhm.
a build time issue because it's just that Maven depends on system path what you build, but once it's done well, everything is a jar in the class path, and there's no resolution this way anymore. So that's why it doesn't surface when basically you release using Java 8, for instance, and then you just are at runtime. So that's really a build time issue that we're surfacing in the build of that plugin that revealed the issue. So I don't expect it to be really an issue in the end, but yeah, overall, it's going to be simpler and cleaner from a build time perspective. And again, overall, it's a good thing because, well, it's actually officially said that that's the one for Java 9 plus. So So it's adopt. I don't expect it to be not backward compatible. It's just that I think it's indeed able to work with that. So that's what was kind of the last outstanding one, I would say. Not last, but we will see a few others. But the current status is that we think that we probably will have some few issues maybe in the future, but we don't think we will basically hit them or discover them before we go GA. Because we know that, you know, like in many communities in general, people just ignore, not everyone, fortunately, but you know, there's actually a very few people that would test preview versions or alpha versions. We will really get actual feedback from the field when we deliver the GA and we're ready to fix potential mishaps. But yeah, we don't expect a lot. We are pretty confident, but well, shit happens.
Yeah. In addition to the JAX-B patch, what else left is reverting some experimental focused patches.
Yep.
So we have, for example, enable future Java flag, and an express executable what we have experimental update center, which is enabled by default. So we will need to revert these patches, and after that, I think that weekly baseline will be ready to G.
Yep, exactly. I think that probably, by the way, we could revert the patch about Java 11's automatic switch already, because it was, as I remember it, specifically specifically essentially for workflow support 3.0. And
yeah,
we
there's
know
a
that
patch
it's
we
been,
can revert.
yeah,
I'm a bit more concerned about enable future Java.
yeah, right.
Because
I'm really that one could be postponed slightly later, but I think that it would be probably nice to actually revert the experimental specific update center, because now we know that workload support. The good thing is that for people not really knowing about that, basically the main issue, the core issues for workload support was something that we hit only on Java 11, but the delivery that happened in the meantime make things work even for Java 8. So now we are kind of everything is already deployed, everything is already in the field. So probably you can even delete the special temporary update center that got deployed for that.
yeah, I would keep it, but just as a plan B.
Yeah.
If something goes really wrong in a plugin,
Yeah.
then we need this
We
option.
can probably keep it a bit more for just to not do that again if we realize we missed something, obviously. But yeah,
And
seems
job.
like we could wipe it.
Oh, sorry for the noise.
No problem. So test tools. I'm not sure what we were meaning here. I guess. So there's another thing about Java 11 status report that this morning, I think, or yesterday, was merged and released by Adrien and Oleg about the Maven HPI plugin that now should be allowing anyone to develop on the Java 11 runtime, which is, I think, when one has to fix something specifically on Java 11 and wants to develop using the HPI plugin. So that thing now should work, is expected to work. And I guess that's probably a good overview. I could go on for longer, but I guess it's enough for the sake of this meeting. I don't think we really have something to cover here. Oleg, do you want to cover those last three items?
Yeah, I can cover them. So it will be a quick update anyway. So for job 217, one major update is that we got a BDFL delegate assigned. So technically we can proceed with this job. And we can, so BDFL delegate is actually me. Yeah, once we have several reference implementations, we will be able to proceed with accepting this job formally. So we still have an open up question about the name. So Jenkins for eval, we have a comment from name, which we need to address. And I will be addressing this comment before accepting the job. But yeah, it's still a topic to follow up in the mailing list. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to show that. I wanted to show some context, but I guess that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
So about the Docker Guitar channel, you want to give an update?
So quick update, we just have it. So the story behind it that there are a few Docker-related GSOC projects, and there is generally a lot of repositories and questions coming in GitHub issues. So the idea I proposed was to actually have a separate Docker channel so that we could redirect Docker discussions there, and maybe we could consider it as a sub-project at some point, like Docker packaging under umbrella of platform seek. But yeah, I'm not sure. We have Docker packaging, and we also have Docker plugins. So probably it may make sense to split it to two areas later. But for starters, we just created a single Gitter channel, and let's see how it flies.
Yeah, I think it's yeah, I agree that the fewer the channels, the better it is, because yeah, it's like I can understand this makes sense to split things when there is a lot of traffic, but I think the contrary is absolutely should be avoided at all costs. When we have like 2 or 3 messages per week on each, it's just a waste of time for a lot of people that to have to follow a
Yeah, I
message.
think that Docker channel will be pretty active. So I
Yeah,
started
I
using
expect that too.
Docker channel shields to README pages, and these README pages actually will get propagated to Docker Hub. So I believe we will get a number of participants there quickly. So yeah, let's see how it flies. But it may be a useful addition for the Docker focus packaging.
Great.
Okay, and the last topic is about JSOC projects. So at the last meeting, I was talking about Windows Service Wrapper updates, and this project has been actually published as a draft, and we also get second potential mentor there. So yep, it's open for the discussion, and feel free to comment. But generally, it's now on the webpage. What is more interesting is that we added a second project for the SIG. It is plugin manager CLI and library. So the story behind it that we have a number of implementations of plugin management. For example, in configuration is code plugin, in Docker, it's installed plugins SH, then in custom work packager, and in many other areas. Well, yeah, having meetings from Burger King is definitely not a good idea. Sorry for the background noise. At least you do not see what happens here. Okay, so yeah, we had a discussion with Batista and agreed that it may be a good project idea to actually unify these tools and to create a single tool to rule all plugins in Jenkins. So it would be firstly CLI tool so that you can invoke it in any from any configuration management flows without starting Jenkins, and it may be also a library so that it can be integrated into other tools. So this is what this project about, and if somebody is interested, feel free to just jump in to provide some comments, or if you want even to become mentors.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Oleg. Yeah, it's an interesting project because yeah, it's really becoming more and more of a mess.
Yeah.
And even I don't think you mentioned it, but there's an open ticket and a few cases I think in the Docker packaging in the Docker repo itself where we ended up saying even or Nicolas saying, well, I don't feel like we should add that or that because well,
Yeah, I can
becoming
show this
too
case.
hairy. Yeah, I
Just
know.
yeah, let's.
That's the one I actually hit like yesterday or something indeed about the fact that the Docker image right now, the installer doesn't handle implied dependencies, for instance, as I was testing Jaxb, which
Yeah,
is
right.
which kind of makes sense because well, you want to document the things you're doing, and anyway you're going to test your image, but and it's like a Docker way, so things are etched in the image from the ground up. So that does make some sense.
Yeah, there is also another pull request. So if you make me a presenter, I can show it. One of the issues now is that plugin management happens manually, and there is a proposal to show updates in Docker and also to show security warnings. So actually, I created the pull request for that, and well, the pull request is staged and it's ready to be integrated. But the problem is that everything is written in shell. and there are strong opinions that it shouldn't be integrated. So I'm kind of stuck, though I believe it's a really helpful enhancement for the Docker projects. But if we could move the same to the external plugin manager tool, yeah, it would be a good advantage.
Yeah. To be honest, I kind of agree with it. Despite the fact I'm pretty um, fluent and I generally use shell scripting a lot. I also really think that it's not the great language for growing projects overall. As complexity grows, we know that even like things like I don't know replacing a string in the middle or something is just a mess in shell and so many cases like those. And so yeah, it's really time to start and see if we can find a solution that will be I would say more scalable, I guess, something like this. I guess we made a nice tour of everything. So anything else before we close, everyone? So I guess see you in 2 weeks from now. Thanks a lot for your Windows packaging work slide and for your hosting efforts. For anyone watching, Alex is handling like 99% of the hosting requests on those days. So, and we host like three new plugins a week. So that's not nothing. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you.
Anything else? Anyone?
Nothing for me.
So see you next time. Bye.
All right, see you later.
See you. Thanks.